Okay, so what are your key goals before the end of your tenure?
Now, when we came on board about a year ago, one of the cardinal things I came on board with was that there was need for us to cause some kind of ethical and value reorientation for young crossivarians. We came in, there's a wide gap, wide gaps in values, your orientation for youth leadership needed at the time we came needed this something I would like to say, kind of an overhaul, some kind of a reorientation where young persons would not just see themselves as a tool, you know, to the achievement of the aim of people or other people, but see themselves as people with energy, people with innovation, innovative ideas to get results. And then also the idea that Cross River State is our own, we must protect it. That's why, under my watch as state chairman, we came up with the NYCN Team Cross River. Because if you're a young person in Cross River State under the umbrella of the Youth Council, and you sign up and say, okay, you are part of NYCN, and then we had signed a pact that, okay, within Cross River, I think that you won't go into vandalization of critical infrastructure, you'll not steal government properties, you're not going to prostitution, you're not going to taking drugs, you're not going to a number of things. You'll not destroy what should serve the community. You will take everything that you have with you seriously. So that's why we came up with the concept of NYCN Think Cross River. It means, as state chairman, I think Cross River, because I think Cross River, I should be a brand ambassador for Cross River State. I should market Cross River State to the world. You rather use my social media handles and other platforms that I have to project what we do in Cross River State, first as a youth community, secondly as a state. So that is one of the cardinal things we do as a youth body.
So where did you see the youth of Cross River State in the next 5 years?
Yeah, in the next five years, I see a youth community in Cross River State that is more assertive, a youth community that is that must have built self-reliance from opportunities. I see a youth community in the next 5 years where rather than standing by the corner, you get involved and be counted. Where rather that you lament your situation where you find yourself, you thank God for even the opportunities that you have, and then you hit it out, hit it hard, and then compete within, and then compete even globally.
Okay. What is your advice to young people who feel excluded with leadership and governance?
Yes, my advice to young persons who feel excluded: until you stand up, nobody will count you. So wherever you are, you must stand up. You must, and not just standing up. If you've not prepared yourself with the needed capacity, you may stand up and then you will be counted among the non-entities. But if you build your capacity, you build your focus, consistently building what you have at hand. For instance, if you're a cobbler and you're a young person in Cross River State, it's expected that you give it the best consistently, and you have to give it the best. If you are a civil servant, you give it the best. You don't cut corners. If you are a business person, you do your trade with ethics. You know. And so my message to young persons in Cross River State is: you have to stand up, be counted, and become an entity. And you can't be an entity if you do not prepare yourself. So you have to be focused and stay consistent to whatever you're doing legitimately.
So what has been your most difficult moment as NYCN state chairman? And
Oh,
how did you overcome it?
1 year and counting. I'll share gladly that one of the challenges of every youth organization out there, one, is paucity of fund or even lack of fund, you know, where you have beautiful ideas of engagement, where you have a number of things you want to do, you're challenged, you know. And then I spoke about value reorientation. Now, it's not a day thing, it's something that you must do consistently across the 18 local government, the villages, and all. And then another challenge for the past 1 year is information management, right? And so, because we have a community where people just consume whatever they see, whatever they hear, and then I even see it in the bigger society where informations are just where people just share conjectures, things that has not happened. They are pushed out there, and then people just take it and then consume it. So those are a few challenges, and then overcoming them. It's not a day thing. Gradually, by the time we engage across the state and share what is, and know, and then what should not be, the young persons in Cross River State will, on their own, become uh, so aware that people cannot conscript them to telling them lies, to accepting what is not existent.
How do you balance leadership responsibility with your personal life?
It's enormous. Leadership is sacrifice, and whatever challenges, for every time you sign up to lead, you are signing up to take responsibility. It is not a tea party. It requires sacrifices on your own part. So you have to put in your resources, your time. You have to risk your life. You have to engage where people cannot engage. You have to protect people that deserve to be protected or who are not protected. You have to engage. You have to create a balance with the authorities and the youth community and even the organization. So for me, as a state chairman, I I believe that um, I have tried my best to balance all of the leadership challenges and my personal life, trying to get it right, trying to. It has been difficult, but by the day we are getting better.
So, who are your role models in leadership and why? Just
For
brief.
me, one of the persons who had influenced my leadership style is my father. My father, the Chief Moses Martin Semeka Olayi, who himself, at the time, he led his community as a village head, a clan head. I saw him making leadership, and then a teacher himself, rose to headmaster, then I think principal or so. His leadership style was simple. And then I have one leader too who had modeled leadership to me, to mean that a leader is not necessarily a person who is overly over-assuming, right? A leader should make himself available. The Right Honorable Dr. Idagwa Gajiadro, who was in the House of Assembly at the time, in my own primary constituency, provided leadership where he was a simple person, but yet he had the capacity to lead. He had the ability to listen. So as a leader, your duty is not to become an emperor. Your duty is to lead with a human face, the ability to listen. And then for our own youth community, you know that we have our own challenges. The challenges are enormous. So sometimes what you just owe a young person is to listen to the person. You may not even have immediate solution to that person, right? So, but if you listen to this person and share one, two, three, okay, what if we can do this? You see that you get people to getting out of trouble. So, my father, the Right Honorable Dr. Idago Agaji, did model leadership to my own perspective, and then a whole number of other people, global leaders who who have influenced my style as leader, and then who are still influencing uh, my leadership style.
Recently, we saw on social media your predecessor, Daniel Obo, has accused you of financial mismanagement and the disappearance of 5 million. How do you respond to these allegations?
Oh yes, I saw that too, just like many other people. But for us, the council is a structured organization. We, when we saw that, even though uh, it was, it was, uh, it was somebody quoting the immediate past chairman, you know. And so we had reached out, and he said he was misquoted. But however, we had engaged at the level of leadership to see how we can handle all of that. So now ascertain what people will call the veracity of his claims. But I'm glad to share that that was just a hearsay assumption that is non-existent, and the council, being a structured organization, is already dealing with that. We have refused to be distracted by that development, because first, leadership requires or demands that you have to be accountable to the people. You have to project the image of the organization. So as youth chairman, there is no way you can now say you want to cause a reorientation of values of our community, and then you not get yourself involved in such claims that are unfounded. The council had reacted to it officially,
Okay.
and the person who was quoted had said that he was quoted out of context. So we're intact.
So that is to say there's nothing like that.
It was unfounded.
It's okay. Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Mm.
Recently, we have been seeing endorsement from different parts of Cross State, from this Southern Senatorial District, uh, Central, and the North. As a chairman of NYCN, what is your take on that?
Yes, I'd like to approach this question with a level of um, what I would like to call uh, a non-partisan approach. Being the chairman of the youth council, and um, being the chairman of the youth council in Cross River State, His Excellency the Governor has enjoyed a number of endorsements across. And of course, there are young persons in all of these groups, from the south to from the north. I think it happened first in the north and then to the central, and then other groups have done the endorsement. A journalist asked me recently why we have not done something in that regard. Well, I shared with them that for us, young persons are scattered, young persons are in the local government, young persons are in the world, so they are seeing all of what is happening. But for us as a leadership, um, because we have young people across the state, it will become important for us to transverse across the laudable programs of His Excellency and initiative. Our duty is to bring it to the fore. So this is what the government of the day has done, and then it becomes a thing of young people in Cross River State to say, okay, because of this, therefore, because our governor has done ABCD, he has done this, he has done that, we have seen this, we have seen that. Now, empirically, we will be speaking to what is on ground across the 18 local government area. And they will now ask young persons, all of what you've seen, what do you think? I'm sure that their response will be in the affirmative. Their response will be in line with what majority of Cross-Riverians have done. But as state chairman of Youth Council, if you want me to say what government have done so far, I'll commend the government for their effort. Remember that Rome was not built in a day, and government is a process. The government giving their best from the north to the south to the central. And in Calabar today, the environment is excellent, the road network is excellent, the serenity is top notch, and a number of things. And then government business is done with seriousness, you know. So I like to commend the governor, and he just completed his 2 years. While we, as a structure, as leadership, will go back and look at all of these projections that have been done by different groups and different senatorial districts and political interest group. Our duty first as a youth group is to approach it without any level of bias. By that assessment, you must not put the demerit, so that when you are speaking, you not say, okay, this is here, this is the advantage. So that when we are making a submission to governor or to the government, as we commend them for what they have done, we as young persons, we should also be able to shape policies that we have, and even projections that we have. And that's okay, government, you've done this, you've done that. We feel that we can, if you do this for us, it will make sense. And I think also it falls in line with the youth confab that is coming up any moment. So as we do the national youth confab, for youth in Nigeria, side by side, we'll be speaking with our issues. We'll be speaking to our issues as young Cross-Riverians. So there is no how you assemble in Bekwara Budo Baliku Federal Constituency to discuss youth-related matters that you won't be able to sieve what is within the powers of the state government. or the powers of the local government to fix, and then the powers of the federal government. So as we do that assembly, we'll sieve all of these things and then compare hand in hand with what we want to give to the federal government, what we are giving to the state, and major demand that will be placing on the state government. So that's the approach uh, we want to use. We are a non-partisan youth group. We are an umbrella youth group, but individuals as members of youth council have the inalienable right of participation. You know, so the approach of other groups may not be the approach we will use as per assessment of government. Yes, the number of young persons that have been appointed by the government of the day and even previous government. So my charge for them as youth chairman is to give their best to whatever responsibility that have been assigned to them. It is from the today's tax that even greater tax will come. And they should also know that as young persons appointed into government, your ambassadors of other young persons. And so if you do well, other young persons will be considered. But if you fail in your responsibility as a young person in government, other young persons will not be given the opportunity. So I charge all of them. While I thank His Excellency the Governor for the number of opportunities he has provided for young persons in government, just like Oliver Twist, we continue to ask for more because we are so many in our numbers. So thank you, Your Excellency, for considering young persons into your administration.
Okay, before I let you go, what final message do you have for the youth of Cross River State and Nigeria?
Yes, for us, my message to the youth of Nigeria is to be the solution and not the problem. So we must make ourselves available, we must build capacity to contribute meaningfully to the development of Nigeria. We must manage the corporate image of Nigeria. By that I mean, as young person, whatever our situation is, I think that we should not become advertising agents to now advertise the trouble that we are in to the world. I feel that engaging constructively and meaningfully can get us results. I feel that we can support the security agencies with needed information to clamp down on people who do not want us to stay in peace. I also encourage young persons in Nigeria not to just exist. You don't just have to exist. You will have to stand up and be counted. You have to get involved because the time is even now. Then in Cross River State, we already have a beautiful, an excellent job being done by the government of the day, by the numbers of opportunities that are being provided for us. Take advantage of all of that, the educational, the agricultural opportunities, the trainings, and all. Recently, job portal was open. Young persons are applying. Those that are fortunate to be captured into the scheme, you serve. Those who are yet to be captured, because I mentioned earlier that the jobs are not even there, you have to pick up a skill. That's why in the Ministry of Youth Development, there's a program called One Youth, Two Skills that is being funded by the state government. So the idea is that a youth in Cross River State should have two skills. So you can alternate. If one is not paying at a time, you can move this way, you know. And then even in the Ministry of Youth Development, young persons have been selected for trainings, to train in different technical outfits in Cross River State and the country. And then young persons have been trained in agricultural, different subsector in the agric. And then very recently, we as a team are organizing a training for young persons on IT and a number of stuff. So young persons should take uh, take advantage of all of these provisions. And then for us, we are already 1 year in office. And for me, as state chairman of Youth Council, I want to thank God that we have done almost a year. By 21st of this month, to be 1 year in office. And by the we can count our gains. We may not have been excellent this first year. We expect a second year student to be better in terms of orientation than a first year student. So going into our second year, we will be hitting result back to back, and we'll be coming back in the next 1 year to bring evidence of our achievement. We will protect Cross River State with all we have as young persons. We'll partner with the relevant authorities to ensure that Cross River State is peaceful. We promote policies of government that is pro people. But those ones that are not pro people will engage with the authorities meaningfully to see how they can model it to be pro people. And then I would like to also share that as we even go into the first year of administration, young persons in Cross River State, very soon we will have a large converge where we would have an interaction with the system, and then we'll get first-hand information on the development so far. Where we are confused, we'll ask questions, because if you're not informed, you are deformed. And then I would like to say you are the ambassador of Cross River State. Nobody can market what you have more than yourself. So you must market Cross River State to everybody, everywhere you find yourself. And before you become an ambassador, you should be a model. So you must be good yourself for you to market Cross River State to the global community.